That's what they do. They take what I give them. That's right. And hello, and welcome to, I don't normally watch that, but I do, but my guest doesn't, General Hospital. I'm James Lott Jr. Welcome to JLJ Media. Of course, on this Friday evening, this is becoming a habit. What's going on here? And he's back. He's black.
What's up? That's
Flobo Boyce.
That's if I knew you were gonna land it there, I wouldn't have jumped in. But
I know. I was going to do more.
I totally ruined your dress. Thank you so much. No, thanks, man. It was interesting to watch General Hospital the first time ever. Unlike Days of Our Lives, this is a whole new experience for me.
Okay, so you guys come on in, folks. We're gonna let people come in before we get to major. I'll do the housekeeping as I always do. See, usually when we go to each other's shows, we give each other big intros, but he interrupted mine. So
you know what? I'm trying to get better at that, but I always fail.
Age and experience will help you grow.
No, it won't. I'm freaking up since a long time ago. Doesn't matter how old I get.
He's all, I'm done.
I mean, thanks for thinking the best of me. I appreciate that.
So check it out. This is JLJ Media. I do the soaps. So I do the General Hospital After Show on Sundays with Frank Moran, my buddy, 7 years running. It's my number one shows of the network. I know, it's great. I've been with somebody for 7 years. It's crazy. Better than my relationships. And so it's great. So Frank's my work husband.
Oh, I see that.
Apparently. The longest man I've been with. Then also we have Bold and Beautiful and Young and the Restless also that day. 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Me, Amanda Russ, and Tammy Govea talk about Young and the Restless and the Bold and the Beautiful. He does know who all these people are. He knows who all of them are. My co-host, he does know them. And also I do, soaps, the highly successful, which I'm shocked. Thank you guys for all this. I do the Knots Landing after show. I do the Falcon Crest after show. I do the Dallas after show, and Dynasty 2, the Colbys after show. I do all of those, and you guys are tuning in. You're listening. You're commenting. I love the engagement. Thank you. I really thank you.
Has one broke out, or they're all pretty much good evenly?
They're all about even. Each one, they're all about even. It's like some weeks this one's bigger than another, and some weeks they're literally all rotating, and they're all doing very well for me. And
an empire.
My little empire of old school after shows. Those are the soap. I won't mention all the. I do all these too, but those are the soap ones.
Do you have a soap after show?
What?
A soap after show?
What do you mean for soap?
The show soap. Yeah.
I love soap. That's a good idea. I've watched soap in years.
No more ideas. You do too much. I'm not telling you.
I know. Stop it, Flobo. Stop it.
If you had one already, that'd be great. But if you haven't,
I don't have one already. But now I'm like, oh my God, I used to love that show. Anyway, I do those after shows. Also do the Bold Beautiful Rewind and General Hospital Dirty Deeds. Those are all out there on all the platforms where everybody listen and watch. Enjoy those. Be kind. Rewind. Also, I do because it's kind of like soap adjacent. The And Just Like That after show with Emily May Heller. We just finished the season, but we're continuing a few more episodes. We're going to cover the documentary that just came out and a few other things. So that's be on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I'm announcing it here like I did earlier. We're doing the Sex and the City after show. Me and Emily May Heller will be doing that once a week, talking about Sex and the City. So that'll be coming soon. So I'm telling you that now. Thank you. We're gonna have a good time producing that one. And so that'll be coming out. That'll be soon. That'll be totally soon. So those are all those kind of pertinent after shows. And also I have Daytime Today, which so far you guys are really tuning into it. 3 episodes in. Today was my first live show at 3 p.m. It comes out in the afternoons around 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it's about soap stuff in the afternoon.
Daily?
So yes. And so 3 episodes in, it's getting hits. So thank you. I had a live show today, which I was ranting for about 20 minutes. It's getting lots of hits. I was real like me ranting, I guess, about the soap world. So you want to check that out. So that's all the church announcements. It's everything. Now on to
church announcements.
The show. Yes. All the housekeeping, church announcements, all those things they call it, all those things. To the show. So Flo, thanks for doing this challenge again. We both went through these little challenges of like watching things you don't normally watch. What I did for Flobo is he didn't watch a whole full episode. What I did is I gave him a pertinent piece of a storyline that's still going on, but I think coming to a head soon. Maxie and Peter.
Still going on. Extra stank on that. Still going on.
Everybody who knows me, watches my show, knows how much I hate the storyline. So I hate Peter. That's the guy. It's my nemesis. So I showed him a key conversation. And also I showed him the 55th anniversary montage that was put together for the Emmys a few years ago. Just to give him a little backstory, a little bit, kind of see like the history of the show. So I'm asking about both. Hello, Sam. I hope someone kills Peter soon too. And General Hospital, yes, I'm there with you. I hope they kill him soon too. I'm over him also. That's my fan in the chat room. So when I showed you the montage, I said, watch this first. And it's the 50th anniversary. They flash, and if you guys go online, it's on. You can go online on YouTube and watch it. And it flashes everybody from Demi Moore to Ricky Martin to Elizabeth Taylor. I mean, there's a whole. It's like it just goes through this whole thing, and it showcases about 7 storylines. So first, what were you thought when you first saw the montage?
Homegirl Lori, I was like, dang, Statue of Lady Liberty woman. She was all statuesque and majestic. I was like, whatever you selling, I is buying. Lordy. That's
He likes Laura Wright, you guys. He likes Laura Wright.
That's the first thing I said. The montage is pretty cool because again, I have never seen General Hospital. I knew cognitively it aired on ABC, Channel 7, ABC at 3 p.m. before Oprah. That's the only thing I know. It was a show that came on before Oprah. And so I knew it took place at a hospital, but I never ever watched it before. So I had nothing going on as far as like any past knowledge, but it seemed that show ran the gamut in its own right. Maybe not so much as create this Mar Devil on Days of Our Lives, but there was some like things, some like factories, the daughter.
We're gonna get into it.
It was crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it. There's once the place you stopped. We're gonna talk about that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, what you did, yes, so you saw the gamut. You saw the gamut of what because one of the storylines, of course, was BJ's heart.
Okay.
So what they did is they showcased 3 or 4 of the most major storylines in the history of General Hospital that impacted the soap world. Okay. And that one, so just give a little backstory and tell you how fucked up it was. One girl cousin needs a heart, which is Maxie. So who you saw later, that was originally her story back when she was a kid on the show.
Wow.
So there was Maxie who needed a heart. There's a bus accident, and all these kids get hurt, and one is brain dead. It's her cousin BJ.
Oh,
they're around the same age. So they go in and go, we found a heart for Maxie. It's your niece.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the most heart-wrenching story. I watched it when I was in the 90s. Heart story when they say goodbye to one girl in the family to save the other girl. So, and that storyline continues to today. Maxie knows she has BJ's heart. That's the whole thing.
And that was the 90s. 80s?
That was the 90s. It was mid-90s.
Nice. Okay.
They show that. So you saw those scenes. They showed where he had to stop and say, James, Ice Princess. So before you comment,
mm-hmm.
The whimsical storyline of the day was the Cassadines were going to freeze the world.
The actual planet?
Yes. Yes, the world, Flobo. They're going to freeze the world.
I thought you meant the show. Okay, the entire planet.
Oh, the actual planet.
Yeah.
This is the late 70s, early 80s. That scene was 1980, that 80 or 81. That's where they had production, go outside, go across the country. They can have location shoots. They can't do that anymore. But they were going to freeze the world, and the Ice Princess was the code and was like a little actual rock. So recently, 40 years later, they brought it back and said, you want to see the Ice Princess? And they're like, no, throw it away. We don't want to see it. They want to see it. We were laughing so hard.
Oh, wow.
But you said, so what made you, because you texted me, you go, James, like, what made you stop at that scene?
So it's going through all these soap opera moments, and of course, any montage is always like, sad or like, yeah, or it's everything. But to me, like, it just went into like total like James Bond spy film. I was like, what happened here at General Hospital? That someone's like, I did it, like the most proto slow hack ever, and it says Ice Princess. Is that a video game? I had no idea what was going on.
It was 1980. And that's what computers look like. And that was Luke, of course, and Laura.
Of course.
So
Oh, wait, the Luke and Laura? I heard about them.
That was them.
General Hospital was Luke and Laura. Okay, got it.
General Hospital was Luke and Laura. So that's what's funny because High Texas Ranger fan, Ice Princess. So
the Ice Princess.
So the thing was, in 1979, General Hospital was the lowest in the ratings. Back then, they had 23 soap operas. Can you believe that back then?
I believe that.
Only four now. But there were 23 at one point, and General Hospital was on the verge of cancellation. A chick named Gloria Monty came in and said, "Screw all this." And literally, General Hospital, even before Days of Our Lives, was the first soap to reach the teen and college markets.
Okay.
Soaps were always housewife, grandmother, auntie, up until that point. Now they actually had the teen, and we were all watching it. I mean, I literally were ask anybody in my generation, everyone was watching it. That's why Luke and Laura's wedding a year later is the largest daytime audience ever in the history of daytime. 32 million people watched the wedding.
Damn.
And we all left school. We went across to my friend's house. I mean, like, so everything shut down. Like, the world shut down. Like, everything shut down to watch Luke and Laura's wedding.
Yeah, that's why.
So many of us know where we are. So go ahead.
Maybe that's why I know about them. Because
It's just Luke and Laura. They're famous. But it was all these on the run storylines. There was the left-handed boy. There was, it was all kind of stuff that was going on. Frank Smith, all this stuff. And the cast lines were introduced, and it was this whole big thing. But the Ice Princess was a major storyline in soap history. That's why that's why he showcased that.
I'm looking at this now, and it's like blinking Ice Princess. He's like, "Yeah, Ice Princess, y'all! Like, I did it." I'm like, "Okay, I guess
the world didn't freeze. He saved the world."
What does that even look like? If the world, what if it did freeze? Is the show over? Like, oh no!
Then all the soaps are over.
Yeah.
The world's you had no soaps anywhere.
Yeah.
We didn't think about that back then. We were busy watching the show.
Fair enough.
We didn't have cable. There's no cable yet. It was only 3 channels. And all this happened. Think about that for a second. That's all like 40 years ago.
I just feel like if someone was freeze the world, why is Port Charles, New York, the epicenter?
That beside the point. That beside the point. It's all beside the point.
Okay.
It's a port city. I guess I don't know. It's beside the point.
Oh, we'll get to that later.
Yeah, it does that because it's in another way. So anyway, that was amazing. So now I just love when he texts. He goes, "Boy, because Ice Princess." I had to check over that. So that's the expression of that. They showed a couple other things. They also did the AIDS storyline, which was was a very very poignant. This was the 90s when AIDS was a death sentence, and they thought gay people were just getting it. So this storyline, they gave the young couple, the Romeo and Juliet story. The twist was the AIDS. He got it, and right before he died, she tested positive.
Oh,
it was
wow.
like fucked up.
Yeah.
And then he died, and then she was the one left, and she's still positive to this day. She had kids and everything, so they still played the whole story. I mean, the same actress too. The same actress. Yeah. You saw there still. Now she's Kimberly McCullough's now a director. She was on The Shield a couple of times. She does all these other things. She does other things too, but she played. But they did an AIDS storyline. So were you shocked by the AIDS storyline? Because that was kind of serious too.
Shield is actually one of my favorite shows of all time.
Mine too.
But yeah, it was interesting that on one hand you're like, well, it's soap operas, everything will go. But I grew up in the 90s where it was understood what AIDS was, but then you hear stories of how AIDS had the panic. So I guess I came up after the initial panic, like the Kid Ryan and everything, but before it was kind of like normal. So like when I hear stories like that, I go, all right, what's the big deal? But for a long time, it was a big deal of mentioning it on TV because you had to mention sex, and sex was always taboo and all that stuff. So
very true. Yeah. No, you did. You grew up like that. Yeah, you grew up in that little weird middle period. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting. But so that was a big deal. And also to make your heartthrob have AIDS was like just not a common. That was just a bold choice. So I just felt like I want to show you that because it showed you that. But also the fantastical version where the guy jumps through the skylight and he points to the guy. That's like obviously fantastic. That was Jason.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's looking at like what at the party and he comes down. He points the gun.
I'm looking at it now. Look at this.
It's like how do you,
Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, exactly. It's totally fantastical. And then, of course, one of the other ones was, make sure I get all of them. There was that one. There's one more. I'm looking at what the other one was. There was one more in there that I wanted to mention. Let me see if I can do this. One where Luke killed his parents. He remembers Luke killing his parents. Mm-hmm. Oh, the one with Nathan died. He died in line of duty. He died, and they had the whole redress. They had the whole casket. They showed that in there too. And Max said, "I let him go." I thought, did it look realistic to you?
Oh yeah, because I'm looking at the flag and everything. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. These are moments I'm like, oh man, I feel like I missed everything. That's why I have to go back to the Ice Prince. That's why it's so jarring. It's like I felt like if you had a story with these families and stuff like, oh man, death and all that stuff, and I know we have a complicated relationship with our first responders and military service women, but to see people cry over the body with the flag tripped over is pretty sad.
They did everything. I showed it to my stepfather, who's police. And he said they got it right. Like they literally, I guess they had consultants and how they hand the flag to the widow or widower. I mean, the whole thing. When they did, and folks, you remember if you you remember this because I know. So it's funny is I know Ryan Pate who played Nathan, and he came to AfterBuzz out doing Jay's report, and he's announcing he was leaving the show. He did it on our show. He announced he was leaving the show, and we were all sad. Great character on the show and everything. He was a very smart guy. He's doing great things on Hallmark Channel. But we were saying, I remember asking, like, they're going to kill Nathan. That's crazy. He's a good guy, police officer. So when they actually got shot and killed, they did the end of watch, which I've been privy to a few through my mother. They all worked at airport police. My mother and my step out of that. So end of watch when they make the announcement. Oh my God, I was sobbing like a baby before anything else even began.
Yeah.
And the officers they actually got real officers to come on set to play. Also, they did the whole the 21 gun salute. They did everything, and it was really good.
The only thing that's different that I grew up with, and it was a very very specific thing, was that I grew up in New York City. So the NYPD, when someone falls, they put the NYPD flag, which is green, which is kind of a green flag with the stripes on it. So for a second, I thought he was military, right? Until everyone realized his uniform isn't. But yeah, it is one of those things that we do minimize or forget that any day you go outside could be it. And it may not be something like a gang shootout. It could be just a freak accident. It could be a car accident. It's pretty major.
My mother said when 9/11 happened, because she worked at the airport, they were at LAX, and she was there when it happened, and they ended up working like 24 hours where they were just there. And she was like, that's when it hit her that airports can also be danger zones, and can be, because back then it was so like a days ago, because someone level, we didn't need, I could walk to the gate and meet my parent. It was like, it was just so free. The security was just so free back then, it seemed like. And she said it was the first time where it was like, they were scared. They were like seriously scared. Like, what are they coming for us? What are they coming here? Like, what's going to happen next? And that morning, of course, nobody knew what was going on. But another story. But it's just like, you're right. It's funny when we don't think about things like this. Yeah, you work for airport police, but anything can happen. It's police. Anything can happen. Like anything you don't think it's almost like us. We do these shows, not trying to compare to police at all, but just saying that we have a profession. You work it for a long time. You get complacent. You get whiny a little bit. You get a little jaded. It naturally happens. Not saying we don't love what we do. It happens. And I feel I'm hearing from them too on some level. You're there to help serve and protect, but you don't think about it so openly all the time that I could get shot, I can get killed. I mean, my stepdad did it for 33 years. I mean, anything could have happened. So, my mother was a cop wife for 15 of them. That kind of thing. I had to wait to, oh my God, I know military for sure. I have cousins who are in the military, so I remember waiting for them to come back from Iraq and all that. It was a tough thing. But cops, that's a whole other. I come from law enforcement, and also I've been abused by law enforcement, so I do have a complicated relationship with both.
It's complicated is the worst word.
Yes, so we know that. But I'm glad. So I'm glad you got a chance to see this show, which it's been 55. Well, now it's been a little longer. That it's not just did it help change your mind about soaps a little bit? I mean, or I don't know.
Change my mind, not so much. I feel like there's almost no way you can have a premise in one place and stay there the entire time. But I guess because it's something I grew up with but never got into, it's very easy to put that in the nostalgia file. But for this show, there are generations of people that that's their church. That's their every week. My mom and I watch this back to back. So yeah, it's kind of cool to see them flex a bit. Much like how when WrestleMania comes around, there's always these promo packages and they show the champions of the 70s and 80s. And my dad be like, I know that guy. And I'm like, I know this guy. And pretty sick.
Yes, I love it. Okay, now to Maxie and Peter.
Maxie and Peter, y'all. I have notes. No
Please,
notes.
I want to hear. So I showed them the scenes where she confronts Peter. Finally, for us, it was like a year in the making. Finally confronts him after she gives away her baby for safety. The baby's only just like, no, baby Louise is now baby Bailey. She's living with the Quartermains, being raised by somebody else, being hidden from him.
Okay, this
so
is
so that's the story. The stories, yeah. So, but at the time, she's trying to trap him, which I didn't know when I was watching. Didn't know she was doing that. She was trying to trap him to admitting how crazy he is. We all knew. See, they did a great job on the soaps. The audience knew how batshit crazy he was, but Maxie didn't know. She was the last to come around because she was in love, and he only showed her stuff. But when she got kidnapped by his people, she didn't know. He didn't. And this crazy nurse, who was not really a nurse, that's what she revealed. So anyway, okay. So overall, what are your overall thoughts?
I'm trying to see how to break this down because I have notes per clip.
Good. Okay, first clip. Tell me what you think.
Okay. So again, I apologize if I don't get things. I guess I was because I was dumb to assume that this whole show would be about treating illnesses, right? Because homegirl was sitting in bed, but her makeup was on point. She's like, "Oh, I've been through bad stuff." Like, yo, you look fine though. What you worried about?
Yes.
So one of the things I had to adjust because Days of Our Lives, for example, or another show I've seen, is kind of heightened, but everyone's kind of there. But it felt like Maxie and Peter were like acting at each other, especially Peter. He's like doing Hamlet, but there's no one that cares a damn. Like I am acting. I swear, I can't believe the nurse stole the baby. I was like, what are you doing, brother? Like, if you try to be less guilty because you look super guilty. And I realized, holy crap, that's him acting. That's his character. He's not putting on. That's him. That's what his acting is. And I have no idea how this guy got a job. I mean, I don't believe a word of what he says. You know, like, why would someone hurt Louise?
I wish Matthew was here to do the acts, to do the impression, because yes, you are saying everything we're all thinking. We've all said. So yes.
In my notes, I said this Peter guy sounds like he's doing a screen test, like he's acting to nobody in particular, and that's what I pretty much felt. He's just, I'm acting.
So, and that's been all our points this whole time. So, folks, he's getting it. And he's not even a fan of General Hospital. He's getting it already. What do you think of now? Kirsten Storms, who plays Max, is my favorite actress, but I'm just curious what you thought about her.
She, unfortunately, has to bear the weight of what actually happened, which is a batshit crazy plan. I mean, really, like the batshit crazy plan. She has to be hurt. She has to play dumb. There are some times where she's acting dumb, but it's like a plot hole because of it. So given the material she's gotten, I think she did a fantastic job, especially next to Peter, because she's actually hurt. I don't know what the hell Peter's doing. He's like not even looking at her. He's like looking above her like, I just can't believe someone would hurt Louise. You know what I mean? But fine, just did fine. Good job.
Who said, people were talking in the chat room. Well, that's
what?
He has a job because of his girlfriend, which is the statue girl you love so much.
I say this, man, relationships get you in the door, but talent makes sure you stay there. And that dude is not, it was like, don't call me Heinrich, was what I'm getting ahead of myself. But I'm just saying, bro, I don't care who you're banging. When you come to a movie,
we're just saying they bring the chat, to bring up that that's why he's still there. That's why he's still there.
I'm getting a little heated. I'm sorry.
No, they're agreeing with you. They're saying that's what I'm saying. They're saying because of Laura, the statue girl you loved in the beginning, the montage, that's his real life girlfriend.
I don't understand. Okay. Well, anyway, if Maxie was dating that guy, she should know something was up.
She's blinded by love. So the next clip, you mentioned you say by clip, so I'm curious the next clip say what you think, because it gets progressively, she's trying to get there.
Yeah. So the second clip or the second scene, Peter August decides he's gonna go on himself. He goes, I'm gonna find her. And he's like, he goes full like Liam Neeson in Taken. And I'm like, well, you should probably change the subject if you did it, because it's kind of obvious that you did it, but you're gonna go call the cops and say what exactly at this point? And say what exactly? That was one thing. I realized Maxie's provoking Peter to be dark Peter. He's like looking off to the distance and being all moody. And Mac is the head of detective of PCP or Port Charles Police Department. He's kind of mentioned fairly late. I figure if Maxie figured out that, she should have mentioned that off the top, but I understand she's trying to trap him. And Peter got caught in the lie and he was like, you figured out my plan. I was like, oh my God. We got three more clips to go. Jeepers. This could have been condensed because I got it. Why are we still here? What's happening next?
But that's the scene, I think, where she ends with saying, you demented son of a bitch. We were waiting for that line for a year. Mm-hmm. Because what do you call it? Would you call her crazy or whatever? It takes one to know one, you demented son of a bitch. We were waiting for that. That's my favorite line of this whole sequence.
Yeah.
And he was like, still trying to play it off. No, you're the crazy motherfucker. She's trying to tell him, I know what's going on.
Right.
So the next scene, go ahead. What's your notes on the next one?
So part 3, I guess Peter is Heinrich as well. OMG, because she threw it in his face like, stop calling me that. Okay, whatever. She'll pretend to protect the baby. I go, this is the worst fake crying I've seen in a long time, as I have in my notes. Peter's crying. He did it in the trope. I did it for you, Maxie. I did it for us. And also, there is a shouting match happening in this hospital, and that poor soul nurse is like, I can't deal with this. I'm just busy.
Yes, I know. It's like, why they're yelling and no one's coming over there or saying anything. I'm like, that's probably got me too. Yes.
Yeah, understand the general hospital. So that made sense. That made no sense whatsoever. Yes. So, are we going through these things like real fast, or are we asking questions, or?
No, so far you're making me laugh. I'm loving this so far, and we're loving it out here. So that's fine. Just keep going.
All right. So in part 4, Maxie goes, "You love Peter August, but he has changed, girl. He's now Heinrich Faison," which I had to go look up because they kept saying Heinrich over again. I was like, "Is this guy important?" Because apparently that guy sounds cool. I want to hang with Heinrich, not this Peter August guy. This guy's lame as hell. So the nurse came super late, and I asked, what the hell was she doing? She was like, I don't have no idea. And the poor girl didn't sign up for this. She just had a job, didn't want to deal with it.
Yes.
And
she's
so
call. It's a call for help. He's crazy. He killed somebody. He murdered somebody. I'm like, okay, girl.
This is where it gets off the rails for me. Maxie says out loud, "Come get this man, help." And then she's shocked when he leaves. And I'm like, of course he would leave. Yes. But he doesn't run away. He looks at the staircase and discount Ryan Reynolds goes to the roof. Why? Why do you go to the roof? And it's so obvious that this movie or show takes place in Burbank because there's palm trees in the background, but the show on Wikipedia says it takes place in New York. I am confused as hell, and there's no helipad. Where is the helicopter going to land, Peter Heinrich? Where?
Exactly.
Okay, that's it. That's it.
And what I'm gonna tell you how that scene plays out. It gets even more ridiculous. So another character who he poisoned his brother, named Finn, runs upstairs after him.
That's where it ends.
Yes, as he says, give me, it's there. He goes, give me the antidote. And Peter goes over to the ledge and goes, nope, and drops the antidote. So he tries, so the helicopter guy goes, I can't land nowhere because there's no helipad.
There's no helipad.
Helipad, thank you.
Yeah.
There's no helipad.
The smallest rooftop in Burbank, New York.
So he couldn't land. They're laughing at each other. He couldn't land. So then he goes back downstairs. Finn goes, you're not going nowhere. You're going to show me where you have more of the antidote. He goes, leave me alone. And he pushes him down the stairs. He hits his head. Peter hits his head against the wall, bleeding. We think he's dead.
Works for me. That's 2 storylines resolved.
But he's not dead, apparently, because he's still around. So they stuffed him in a freezer, left him there. Somehow he got out. So recently, like 9 months later, he goes, do you know how I got out of that freezer? We're like, yeah, I don't know how you got out of that freezer. We don't know yet. I don't know yet.
Okay. So walk me through this. This guy is that bad of a villain that there's 2 separate storylines happening. That with this guy being poisoned and this girl being stolen. And he's just the most casual, cool guy who's walking through the halls of the hospital, but at the same time, acting like I am not crazy, kind of a thing. Where the hell is Mac? This guy should be a suspect anyone to bring him in? Like, why did it take them so long in Port Charles? I'm mad.
It's
I'm
a
sorry,
joke.
y'all.
You know, it's a joke, Flobo, that the PCPD is the one of the most horrible, bad police departments. They never get their man. It's always they never get their man. So I thought you and I could have gotten Peter and taken care of him before PCPD. I mean, I just think that's just kind of how that's a joke. That's actually a joke. The thing. What happened was Peter comes to town as Peter August, mild-mannered media mogul who owns media properties, whatever, wants to be there. Turns out the guy who died in that, you saw the montage, the police officer who died, that's his half-brother. Turns out they have the same father. The infamous Faison, Cesar Faison, played by Anders Hove, who's Dutch, was a major villain for like 40 years on the show. So they finally killed off his character.
Oh, okay.
They finally killed him off in 40 years. He's dead. They cut off his head and everything. So they're like, he's dead. You know, make sure he's dead. Yeah, make sure he's dead.
Well, he could be alive in a freezer somewhere, right?
That's true. With no head. That's true. Put the head back on. Okay. Soap dish. So then, turns out he has kids. So we knew he had a daughter. She's on the show, and Nathan's dead. Well, now Heinrich Faison is his son, going by Peter August. That's how that first started.
Part 5, it's magically a new hospital room, and the nurse tells Anna everything.
Yes.
What kind of client privilege is going on? I know you're keeping everyone up to speed, the audience, but this poor nurse, I feel bad for her. Like I don't understand. I don't get it. So I try to be as even keeled as I can. But if there is somebody who tried to kidnap their potential daughter, then lies to his wife to be and somehow poison a dude, and it was so smart to go to a top of the helipad and go, I need to escape. Hope no one hears me. He deserves everything that's coming to him. Jeepers.
Thank you, Irina. You're a GH fan. No, I mean that's the thing. And this guy has been almost killed 100 times. And so he's been shot at, he's been stabbed, he's been in a meat locker, he just survives. And so I'm like, are you Jason? Like, what's going on there? I mean, like, what's going on? It becomes ridiculous. It becomes ridiculous for a while. It becomes
Right.
a ridiculous thing. Jason in space. So it's just ridiculous. It becomes ridiculous. So that's why many of us are so wanting this character gone. We love Maxie. That's our girl. That's just what I said. She was the girl who had to get a transplant when she was a kid on the show. So she's like, they call her a legacy character. So legacy, I don't think you use that word in other stuff you do, but legacy characters are characters that come from stars of a show.
Okay, got it. Legacy characters in wrestling is like 3rd, 4th generation.
Okay, so similar then. So that's 2nd, 3rd generation. That's legacy. So Maxie's a legacy character. She comes from Frisco and Felicia, who were a huge thing back in the 80s. And her real name is Maximiliana. But so that's the whole thing. So we want her safe. We're invested in her because she comes with all this history. Mac is her stepdad / uncle. He's the one who raised her. She had a bad mother. So he raised her. So he was out trying to find stuff. He was just trying to find the kid. That's why he wasn't there. Anna is her godmother. So that's why she showed up.
Okay. Now, I think having a character that's hard to kill, especially on a show where you have to make stories, isn't necessarily bad. But I don't understand. If you're going to be a villain, give me a reason to hate you. You can't be a villain just by doing stuff, because then you become like a cartoon character. Like, these Ninja Turtles are the worst. So, but here you have this guy just like super crying or acting or getting mad at a cell phone when his cell phone's obviously off, talking about why you can't land a helipad in the smallest rooftop in town. Well,
that's the thing, Flobo. The thing is, what you're catching on is what they did is they kept making him do bad stuff to everybody. Okay. So I thought they were going to do this like who shot JR thing. I thought it was something like that.
That's fun.
And that never happened. He's still around. But like he's literally done something bad to every single person in town.
But the difference is, I mean, not that I know about JR, but like JR had a personality you love to hate.
No. I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying that. I'm actually making your point.
Okay, gotcha.
They just literally had him everywhere. That's like it's on our nerves. He just shows up everywhere and does bad things to everyone, but like we don't like him.
This has to be a joke. I don't see how this guy wouldn't have been arrested. I don't see how this guy would have been stopped. How did he escape the rooftop?
Well, the thing is, he got arrested recently, and so I haven't watched this week, folks, yet. I'm gonna watch. I'll probably start watching tomorrow. But he was arrested recently and was going to be sent off, but he found out where his baby is. So he's in handcuffs at General Hospital, smiling. And everyone's like, "Why is he smiling?" So I'm scared to watch this week, folks, because I know something probably went down.
Where are the fans? What do the fans of Peter August say about it? Because I could not find. He's a good dresser, I guess. I mean, good wardrobe.
There are a few,
okay.
Not a lot, but there are a few. I don't know who they are. Everybody I talk to hates him like I do. So I don't know. Anybody I know if the folks in the chat, I'm thinking you guys are Peter. Well, one just said he wished he was dead. Kirsten, I don't think you're a fan of his either. Rena, I don't think you're a texter. I don't think you guys are fans of his. I don't think they are. I don't know any. I mean, there's a few out there who say they like it, but I see everything I see in my timeline is like, God, awful. Let's chew the scenery. Let's just chew the scenery.
Yeah.
Literally, if Matthew Theo was on, you guys listen to his 10-4 GH, he does a dead-on impression of Peter that I can't even watch Wes Ramsey play Peter because I hear Matthew's voice.
That's kind of cool.
He likes it. I'm like, oh my God, I'm hearing your voice doing it. So folks, if you do like Peter, please comment below where you find this show.
And please tell me why.
So Flo and I can understand why you think he was a good villain. If you do, please tell us. I want to know too. I'm kind of curious. If anybody here is listening or watching this, wherever you find this, write it down there. I'll tell Flobo.
Here's one from Janice.
Where is it? I don't see it. Oh, there it is. It takes slow to get to me. Peter moves the story along. Okay.
So that's true. And I gotta call a spade a spade. You know what I mean? Finding out that Peter was Heinrich was kind of a cool reveal for someone who doesn't know who Heinrich is. I get that. But like the way he acts, he can either deny it or agree. But he kind of like did like, what do you mean? You figured me out. I must leave casually. Like there was no tension built up with the performance. And I think that to me was like, does he not care? He got figured out. Is he that much of a dastardly villain? Then he walks away casually.
Read the comment that Texas Ranger fan says.
He's like in wrestling when you hate someone not because of heat, but because they're terrible wrestlers. Now you're gonna love this, James. This is known as X-Pac heat in professional wrestling, named after the wrestler X-Pac.
Yes, I agree. I know him, of course. Yes.
Because he was a good guy that got booed all the time because he did the same two moves every match. And so when someone is booed to get you off screen, they call it X-Pac heat.
Oh, see, folks, I know X-Pac. I know who he is, and I can actually relate to that.
Yeah, don't say to his face though; he gets upset. but if you Google X-Pac heat, that's exactly what it is.
Oh, funny. Okay. Yes, you liked West on Charm, but not in Best on GH. I don't like Peter either. I know you didn't like me either. So I'm saying. So Janice is saying something positive. Move story along. She says.
Right. You know what the difference is? I read in that comment. I bet on a single cam like Charm, there's probably a director saying, "Let's try it again and bring it down." If you're doing 2 takes a scene and he's doing that, you're like, we got time. Let's go. All right. That's it.
That's it. That's true. Because soaps, so folks, and you guys don't know this in there. Soaps, they do 8 episodes a week. I mean, they're busy just like knock it out. You think I do a lot of work. They do a lot of work. They just die. It's just they don't have time for shenanigans. So but yes, but what's on there. So so I'm afraid to watch this week to see what happened or what's happening. I haven't heard anything yet. I've seen bits and pieces. But I haven't heard yet what happened.
What app is that on? Is it Hulu?
Hulu.
Hulu.
It would be either Hulu or ABC.com.
Got it. I may just drop in.
Wow. Okay. I may drop in. And if you want to, get a chat room with me and Frank, you can. If you want to comment, you can.
Maybe I'm wrong up here. Maybe he's a good guy. Maybe it was the wrong episode I saw. Maybe I won't give him the chance. But as of right now, awful. Who cares?
You made me love you more by your comments because I always feel like this is a personal affront to me that he's still on the show. I feel like Frank Valentini's like, for James Lott Jr. at JLJ Media, I'm gonna keep Peter on as long as I can.
Man.
I feel like a personal affront to me.
50 years.
I don't really. I think it's all about me. Like, you don't give a fuck about me, but it's all about me. Want me to tell you?
Probably this week's GH. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
No, don't tell you. Don't tell me. I'm gonna watch it. Oh, here's another comment. Once he went all in on bad guy and stopped being wishy-washy Peter, for me, he was hilarious. He doesn't care now. Nothing. Now, okay, Frank said, no, someone said that on our show. It was Lucretia. Lucretia Lyons said on our show a while back when he started doing embracing the overacting and everything, she finds it hilarious also. She thinks that good for him. Good. She does good.
But see, I wish it was the poison thing. That works. But poor Maxie's acting her heart out by her kids being ripped from her womb. He's like, well, it's like it doesn't match. That's what kills me, because it's close up crying. My baby, I knew it. You're taking everything from me. You were destroying my world. It's like, you figured out I'm Heinrich. Oh no, don't call me that. It's like, come on. Don't you care? Your soulmate figured your whole thing out.
You said, yes, that's, I agree. See, I agree with you. I totally, I'm saying that's what they seem like go through every week.
You got throwing tantrums.
Hey, why are you throwing tantrums? Stop throwing tantrums. That's how I feel every week, Flobo. That's how I feel every week.
The torture you put me through. Hey, watch this.
Watch this. I love it.
We'll distill all the Peter scenes and see how you feel.
So yes, I just thought that was, I wanted to see how bad it was on some level, but I also wanted to see that it's a story that's still going. That was like a year ago, and it's still going.
I feel like I have to watch GH as a whole thing just to give that show justice. I feel like I totally ragged on this entire program.
They're all laughing at you. Okay, so folks, this will do. At your leisure, at your choosing, watch it, and then we'll come back on. Everybody's laughing at you. So we'll come back on here again, and he'll give you a full thought.
Yeah. Peter's still crazy. Details at 11.
Yeah, okay. So you just when you feel like, if you want to watch the episode, you just tell, because I'm watching all of them, so I can talk about any of them. So just you feel like watching an episode or two, and you feel like, then we'll come back on here, give you a full development of what you think about the show.
I like it.
And at some point, because folks, I know you guys want him to do Bold and Beautiful. He'll do that too. He'll do that too at some point. We're gonna work on that one next.
That's the young one, right?
That's the one that's a half hour.
Oh, I like that.
It's a half hour so. And it's very just like easy breezy cover girl. It's set in Los Angeles, so set in Los Angeles fashion. Black folks all over the place. It's great. You'll like it. So yes, so like it. My friends are on. All my friends are on there. So but so now you're getting tone. You're getting tone of each show. You're getting why folks only sometimes watch. They don't watch all 4 soaps. A lot of folks only watch 1.
Yeah.
Or maybe 2, but they don't watch all. I wonder if you want to watch this all 4. There are a few to watch all 4, but you see how different they are.
It's different flavor, yeah. And that's kind of cool, because I know there's less options now, so you can choose what works for you. But
he is delusional because he thinks there's a life about. Yeah, we know, because we know about Peter. Now he knows about Peter too. He knows. Now he knows. Peter is enemy number 1. I swear it.
But a nuance is a baseball bat. But okay.
He choose that scenery, kids. He choose that scenery. And now it's our episode. I'm gonna let Flobo calm down, get a drink, and the rest of his evening. Because now he knows how I feel every Sunday. Me and Frank, it's what we do every Sunday. Trust me, we know.
Well, make sure you tip your nurses, because poor girl, it's the only nurse in this hospital.
Exactly, poor things. Thanks for doing this. It's always fun doing this with you. So let the folks who are laughing right now know where they can find you and all your creamy goodness.
I'm on Twitter at Flobo Boyce. Say hi. I'm on Patreon, patreon.com/Flobo Boyce. We have super cool content in my whole trying series. I have a book club. It's all a lot of fun. And then you want to check me out on the website, interwebs, flobito.com, flobito.com. Say hi.
Thank you. They want you. That's your favorite one is B. I didn't know your favorite one was B&B, Kirsten, and then Days. Okay. Yeah, he did Days one, Rena. You have to watch one of my episodes away. He did a Days one. That was my most popular episode, actually.
Mardevil. She's so cute.
Mardevil. He's on the Mardevil. Yes.
Hey, girl, you possessed?
Jesus. Oh my God. And I'm James Lott Jr. And you can find where all James Lott Jr.'s are sold at James Lott Jr. on your platforms. I don't know where you watch that. It's on YouTube at JLJ Media. We have some great episodes about Star Trek, So it's about oh my god, what else we talk about? Star Wars. I did a show called 20 Somethings Austin, which is on one of those reality shows, the reality show things. And I did also Single All the Way, which was a gay Christmas movie.
That's cool.
I did that one too. So there's a bunch of stuff out there for you guys to watch of what I don't normally watch and what we don't normally watch. So that's me. It's a lot of fun doing the show. So like it, subscribe, follow, comment, all that stuff. Great. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about this episode. Tell me what's going on. Flobo, we'll tell Flobo to read it. Do it when we see what's going on. But thank you guys very much. Have a great weekend. See you on the soap shows this Sunday. Also remember this Edition Days. It's their last episode because now it's the Olympics. So they don't have no episodes for the next 3 weeks. And also it's the 7-year anniversary of Edition Days, where I got my starts. So I just want to give a shout out to Tony Moore, Mark J. Freeman, former host Peter Ramos, and AfterBuzz TV for allowing me to start this career. I would not be here doing this show with Flobo if it hadn't been 7 years ago in February doing that show.
So cool.
I really seriously, I would not be here. I had no clue about television or YouTube. I was strictly radio. I had no idea what this was about. And they got me and said, James, come on one time. And if you want to watch my first episode on there, you go to my YouTube channel here, look under my Edition Days appearances, look for February, I think 9th, 2014, however that is, 2015, and you'll see shy, demure James Lott Jr. wearing glasses and a polo shirt. So you want to see how different I've been since then. And no hair. Different since then. You can check that out. But congratulations to them and much more success.